Rob, so I have this bit idea where I was gonna. I know you're not a big fan of YouTube. I was gonna do a whole bunch of really accurate impressions of YouTube people that you never heard of.
Okay.
But then I realized I don't do a lot of really accurate impressions of YouTube people you never heard of, and I only got as far as one guy, and it's okay.
Okay.
But,
well, now I need to hear it.
Sure, yeah. I mean, just to preface the joke one more time, you don't know who this person is. The impression really meaningless to you.
Yes, absolutely meaningless.
Okay, all right. Here we go.
All right, ready.
This is Chef John from foodwishes.com. And today, we're going to make figgy pudding. And if you don't like figs, that's okay. You don't have to use them. But I'm going to use them, and it makes it delicious. Thank you.
It's the best impression of that person I have ever heard.
It's time. Time for a thrilling story of romance, adventure, mystery, anything with an expired copyright. It's time for another Interrupted Tale.
Hello and welcome to the show that usually ends. Another episode of Interrupted Tales, the podcast where my friend and I take turns reading stories to you, the listener, while the other person constantly interrupts. As always, I am Rob, and I'm joined this episode by the Yule to my log, Alan. How are you, Alan?
Oh, Rob, I think you've forgotten. It's the holidays.
Oh,
it's your
Santa's back.
old pal Chris Kringle. Yes, I'm here.
Oh, Podcast Santa, you were such a great guest last year.
I've been trying to branch out. I'm doing a lot more TikTok this year.
Santa, do you remember when you had the Zoom call with my kids earlier this week?
I did.
Uh-huh.
I saw your little boy. Well, one of them.
Yeah,
I don't know which one. I wasn't prepared in advance for this anecdote in the green room.
Well, I know you talk to a lot of kids, so you might not remember. But mine was the one.
Oh, I remember them all, Robin. They're all my favorite.
Well, this was the one who got so excited that he farted right at the end.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Very loudly.
Yes. He asked for you to give your best friend a lot of money this year. It was a very strange request.
He's a giver.
But he's such a good little boy. Frampton.
Yes, Frampton.
Yes.
Frampton Mercedes Xavier. Mm-hmm.
Oh, were you a good boy this year, Rob?
I was a good boy, mostly because I was forced to be, because I've been home most of the year, Santa.
Oh, you've got it tough. Have you read some of these Christmas letters? Dear Santa, for Christmas, I really just want to go outside every once in a while. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that, Rob? How do you make elves put that together in a workshop? It's a fucker.
Oh, Santa, I like this. You're dropping the truth for us. People need to know. People need to understand. It's tough out there for a magical being that delivers presents to all of the good boys and girls around the world.
Of course I do, Rob. It's the one time of year where everybody can forget all their troubles and wonder, is Santa vaccinated or not?
Oh, that's a good question.
No, Fauci did it himself. It was fabulous.
Do elves get COVID-19?
Well, I guess you'd put them lower on the priority list than Grubhub drivers, so it's gonna be a while.
Well, I'm glad you've joined us. I'm sorry that Alan isn't here to see you. I don't know where he went.
I've been told he might come back for the stories.
Ah, okay.
Apparently, this hurts his voice to do a very long time. Oh,
Oh, Chris. Well, we've got two fantastic stories for our 2020 holiday Interruptiganza show. And if you're feeling jolly enough, Santa, you can absolutely stay and hang out all night. Okay?
I'd love to. Yes, I'll just wait here on the couch and see what kind of sexy trim comes along. I'm the trees.
Santa.
I'm talking about tinsel. Tinsel is what I'm talking about.
Heavens.
Oh.
We've got two stories tonight to lighten the mood and give everyone some holiday cheer. And we're going to start with A Legend of Saint Boniface by Eleanor L. Skinner. And then we will wrap up with A Christmas
She invented
Fairy.
the Christmas box.
Wait, the what?
Yeah,
Yes.
the Skinner Christmas box.
What's on one end of the Christmas Skinner box?
Oh.
Well, the second story is going to be A Christmas Fairy by Jonathan Strange Winter, which is a suspicious name. Now let's sit down for A Legend of Saint Boniface by Eleanor L. Skinner from the 1950 compendium Little Folks' Christmas Stories and Plays. On a wild winter night, about 1200 years ago, the great English missionary Saint Boniface and a score of faithful followers were traveling through the gloomy forest in a lonely region of Hesse, Germany.
Oh, finally, Rob. The Hess gas station toy truck origin story that I've been waiting for. They're going to explain what it has to do with Christmas and what it's got to do with gasoline and how they can fit a Porsche 911 and a helicopter in the same place where millions of gallons of refined oil are supposed to go. And also why 1993 was just a police car. What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, that would be the worst. A couple years ago, it was a snowcat and a truck.
Sure,
and
yeah.
It was
Why wouldn't it be?
fantastic.
That's what dinosaurs do, Rob. They die and they make snowcats.
I would love if the trucks came with little dinosaur drivers.
It's sort of like a fancy pig holding up a piece of bacon at a barbecue joint.
So Hess isn't around anymore, but you can still buy the trucks online.
Well, it's part of Germany, Rob. I don't think that your knowledge of geography is that great.
That's true. They made their way painfully and slowly, for they were obliged to cut a path through the tangled thicket and great twisted branches. The little band had come into the wilderness to share the message of the Prince of Peace with hordes of barbarous savages who believed in witches and werewolves,
Young adult novelists. Yep.
worshipped false idols, and made sacrifices to pagan gods.
I'm looking at you elf on the shelfalist. Okay, we know where this is going, okay? Don't pretend that we don't. So why don't you come on back to fat old Christ in a red costume and sing a song praising this golden glittering tree before God gets mad at you.
Off of the shelf is the one true prophet.
No, he is not, Rob. We've talked about this. He's a marketing slogan.
I can't stand it. I'd rather have a mensch on a bench.
Or a switch witch. Or any roll doll, really.
True. Absolutely. In their passionate joy to bring the glad tidings of the gospel, these apostles willingly endured blinding snowstorms and cruel hunger, courageously risked death from wild beasts and murderous savages.
Oh, and a great job they did too, Rob. Fantastic place that turned out to be. Hold on, let me just check my notes here. Timeline says the specific year 1517.
Right.
1919 to 1923.
Ah, sounds great.
Couple of weeks in 1945. And then 1993 until EU has some kind of blow up with, I don't know, Poland or Turkey. This seems to be the way it's going. But Otherwise, fantastic job they did taming that place.
All one big happy family.
And Mom's great. How long has Mom been around? 30 years now? What's going to happen when Mom goes, Rob?
Oh.
Yeah, think about that.
Where goes Mom? Goes the planet.
I was talking about Angela Merkel. I don't know. Maybe that didn't cut across. Okay.
That's on me. That's on me. Since noon, these faithful
Since noon.
Since
I
noon.
gotta tell you what's been happening since noon. Okay, just to lunch, and then the day before Christmas Eve is basically a holiday, anyways. Why don't we just take a half day?
Christmas Eve 6. Hear me out.
By the artist Eve.
Featuring Eve and Evil Knievel. Since noon, these faithful Christians had fought their way through the forest.
Back, you heathenous blamble. Let no tick approach me, for I am with God, and his grace and deed protect me from thee.
It's the only thing that works.
Like, I mean, sure, wear the crucifix, sure. But
you need the deed.
if you don't want to get Lyme disease, one of these is not like the other.
The morning they had spent at Geismar, where Saint Boniface took into Christ's fold almost 300 pagans. In simplest words, the great apostle urged the rude barbarians to give up their false idols.
American and otherwise.
Their bloody sacrifices.
Okay, guys. For the last time, this guy I was telling you about, he doesn't like the smell of burning goat intestines. I mean, do you like the smell of burning goat intestines? Then why would he like the smell of burning goat intestines? And yes, okay, Ragtor, I know you think it smells like a barbecue, but we've all heard you say that, and it doesn't make it true, okay? I'm just saying, maybe we don't burn goat intestines anymore.
So sacrifice is going to come back at some point, right? Not human sacrifice, but like we're getting there as a planet, right?
Oh, you mean for all of humanity? Yeah, of course, Rob. Sure.
I just feel like it's coming.
Why do you think things have gone so bad?
Because we stopped.
I mean, there's really only one answer you come to in the end, right? You can pick all the good ideas, and it doesn't seem to matter.
So the time's come, basically. We're going to start it.
Hey,
Starts here.
Hold on. It's the holiday time, Rob. Maybe we can wait till, February or so before that happens.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sure.
He told them the thrilling story of Christ's birth, death, and resurrection, and the wonderful promise of the kingdom of peace.
Okay, all right. Listen, hey, I'm not trying to offend anyone, okay? And granted, it really picks up towards the end. Big twist. But are we going to call the beginning thrilling? Because isn't it more like, hey, honey, so it turns out all those Airbnbs are booked.
Oh, why didn't you make a reservation when I told you to?
Mother of God, it'll be fine, okay? I got 3 guys on Craigslist that are going to come take care of it. Haven't met them, but...
they do have to keep adding things to that story over time to make it more interesting. So you may have a point that the beginning was not really that exciting. You got to add drummers after a while. Donkeys.
What?
They just keep building it up.
The song I'm a Believer. Anything you want from Shrek, Rob.
In the Barcelona and in Catalan region of Spain, they have a little... on their nativity scenes, they have a little kid taking a poop figure.
What?
Outside the barn.
What? No.
Yeah, no, it's a regional thing in Spain. And every year a mall maybe not this year, I don't know, but every year a mall in Spain has a giant statue that they put in the middle of it. And it's a little kid with pulling his pants down and the actual poop, like Little poop emoji on the ground.
I misunderstood. We do that here too. It's Calvin in a Chevy. So it really gets you in the holiday spirit.
That's what I like to put right next to my nativity scene. Big cutout of Calvin peeing on a Ford.
Hey, I said Chevy.
Oh no. The savages stood listening in breathless silence. Slowly they caught a glimpse of the light of truth, came timidly forward, and knelt at the rude altar where Saint Boniface stood. Dost thou think the people of the wilderness will hold to the new faith, Father? Asked one of the followers. I hope so, lad, answered Saint Boniface. We must try to keep watch over them. Again and again, they must hear the wonderful story.
Just blast that 24/7 like Star Wars when HBO started.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Earth Girls Are Easy when Comedy Central started.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Pretty Little Liars when ABC Family started. Yeah, I'm moving up now, Rob. We're gonna Absolutely Nothing when Quibi started.
There you go. I can't believe Quibi's already over, Alan.
Yeah, that reference is already dated.
It's
How is that
crazy.
possible?
How is Bing still around?
Well, I
Quibi's-
mean,
well,
you need alternate map directions in case Google is got one that directs you into a lake, right? That's your backup.
that's it.
That's the
You've got
world's
Bing.
backup, Rob.
It's the world's backup. It is hard indeed for these pagans turn from their false. It is hard indeed for these pagans to turn from their false idols and worship an all-loving, merciful Father. We must watch and pray.
And eventually send poorly equipped children to fight them if they don't agree, so...
And the occasional crazy man. Forget
yeah.
that. Someone's got to be the generals.
You know, it can't be all loving mercifulness all the time, right?
No.
Am I wrong here?
When shall we come again to Geismar, Father? Asked the youth. It will be a year before our band can return to this region.
We drank too much free beer and they said that actually we're going to have to pay them instead. And there aren't any other clubs open right now. It's a shitty situation. And by the way, you're out.
What?
Well, we don't need a person to play the harp anymore, okay? We're going more modern than that.
Half the songs have harp solos.
Well, the bad ones, yeah.
That's it. Me and Becky, we're doing the all harp prog album.
All harp prog album.
All prog. It's gonna be great. It's about Klendor, the magnificent robot superhero who becomes king of the planet Fromulix.
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep the good band and the groupies and the potential income, okay? That's great. Well, it's amicable this way.
Amicable?
Yeah.
Is that an alternate pronunciation?
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna get lectured on grammar by a fucking prog rock harpist, okay?
It's gonna be great. You're an oppressor.
Yeah, okay.
In the meantime, I hope to send other missionaries here, answered the great apostle. Dost thou think we are near the monastery, Father? Asked the footsore youth.
Yeah, is that the name of your new album too? The Footsore Youth?
Yeah, so the footsore youth is the king starts off as. And,
I got it. It's a concept album.
Yeah, it's the hero's journey, but done in a
Oh.
modern way with harp.
Oh my God, how many albums is it
It's
gonna be?
3 right now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there's part 1, part 2, The Heretic,
Oh
and part 3, The Lances Boil.
yeah. Well, they tend to do that. So
I believe we are. If we do not reach it in another hour, we must light a fire and lie down underneath the trees.
that the legend of how camping was invented by Saint Boniface. For we could not find the monastery, and it was getting pretty dark, and we had a pack of Jiffy Pop and an abundance of creepy, but not too creepy tales. Because if it's too scary, then when the fire goes out, you you hold it in, and that's trouble. You shouldn't do that.
No, that's not good for anyone.
No.
Courage, lad. This has been a fruitful journey. May the converts hold fast to the glory of Christ. A year passed quickly.
Wrote someone in 2019 or earlier.
Yeah, these years.
They're like leap years, but like if the leap is a year.
That's
You see what
about
I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is very accurate.
Uh-huh.
Saint Boniface and his helpers were again working among the wild children of the forest.
Come on now. I told you guys not to hang out in those cornfields all the time. You're not. He doesn't like that.
Children of the corn, children of the corn.
Oh, is that a real song, or are you just doing a corn song titled "Children of the Corn"?
It's not corn. It's someone else of that corn era. Who is it
Oh.
who does the Children of the Corn song?
Okay.
It's like another corn-esque band, I think.
So you're saying that Cord really missed out on an opportunity. Somebody really ate their lunch on that one.
Yep, they did not corner the market on songs about corn at the same time that they became the band Corn. It's really a missed opportunity.
What were they thinking?
Really missed opportunity. Saint Boniface and his helpers were again working among the wild children of the forest. Often the great apostle's heart sank when he heard that some of the converts were worshiping their false idols again.
Yeah, sure. This Christ guy, he seems all right. I mean, eternal salvation ain't bad, but the two-headed flying pig with a lion's body, I mean, now that's something you can show off to the guys.
Yeah. And, eternity in paradise, I'm not going to deny that it sounds pretty cool and all.
Uh-huh.
But, I'd rather spend my eternity having my entrails pulled out by a goat and then having it read by the moon goddess to see what the next harvest will bring.
I hope if you're doing that, it's going to help the Jets. Because otherwise, it doesn't. I'm not sure that's worth it, Frank.
Nothing can help the Jets, those bums. A few remained staunch and true to the new faith. Others hopelessly confused the old superstitious ideas with the gospel of love and service. "Thou art not discouraged, Father?" whispered the youth, who noticed that St. Boniface was lost in thought. "Discouraged? Never," answered the apostle with flashing eyes. "I am deciding how to strike the next blow at their cruel superstitions."
It will start with a pancake breakfast.
And then the open house. Allow them to come in.
Haven't gotten much further than that,
Yeah.
but it's a good setup.
Maybe an interfaith potluck. That's what we're working towards.
Oh, boy, I don't think that's... I mean, that seems like kind of working against the idea he's going for here, I think. Between us and the barbarians who do the goat entrails, yeah. It's we'll find common ground to josh each other over during a sermon.
Bully. In a few moments, St. Boniface said, "Let us stop here for a little while. My plan is made. Tonight is the pagan Yuletide. Several tribes will gather around the thunder oak of Geismar to offer sacrifices. The priests declare that nothing but human blood will appease the wrath of Thor."
Oh shit! These guys got one of those Avengers over here.
Oh!
Yeah, sign me up for the bloodening. Yeah. Thunder Oak of Geismar. Sure, yeah, that sounds great.
Thunder oak of Geismar.
Is the bloodening tonight?
It's
I
8
don't
nights
know.
of bloodening. So, it starts tonight. But so if you can't make it tonight, there's always tomorrow.
Okay, that works good with my schedule. I work nights these days.
Yeah.
It's tough it's tough being a savage.
Yeah, it's not easy. The hours. Oh, they
Oof.
told me the hours at the beginning. I would have settled a long time ago.
Yeah, me too. Fellow savage barbarian.
Many wavering converts will be there. Come, We will destroy once and for all the sacred monarch of the forest. We will show the poor benighted people that the worship of Thor is nothing but a shadow. Our axes are sharp, our arms are strong. God is with us.
The Forestry Service is probably off for the holidays, so
They'll never notice. Come. With new inspiration, the Christian band pushed on. Unfortunately, that's happened so many times to so many Christian bands.
oh, I know. And then they turn pop, yeah.
Oh, it's just inevitable.
And then
really.
it's like, baby, the way is that about God?
No,
Come on,
No.
stop fooling.
no. An hour's hard struggle brought them to the Thunder Oak, which stood on a broad, low hill near Geismar. There they saw several hundred pagans standing in a semicircle around the gigantic oak. Near the sacred tree burned a dull red fire, and in the light of the flickering blaze, the Christians saw an old priest and a little fair-haired boy. "It is as I feared," whispered Saint Boniface. "They are ready to make human sacrifice."
I think. It's hard to say. Could be very small Boy Scout troop. No, I'm sure it's a human sacrifice.
What about the guy making barbecue sauce in the corner over there, sir?
That's a merit badge skill.
It's not for the goat entrails.
Who knows? You can't stop these guys from eating up the goat entrails these days.
All I know is that if they don't stop squeezing down the goat entrails, none of the juice is going to get to the gods.
And the packaging that they put the goat entrails in, it's like they shrink it. Now it's got a divot in the bottom of the goat entrail bag.
Yeah.
So that, like, it's the same size packaging, but you get less entrails. Who are the ad wizards?
This is why I buy local. I only pillage the villages around where I live. That way I know what I'm getting.
This is the smart way to shop.
Forward! In a moment, all eyes were fixed on the little band of Christians that advanced toward the priest. Some of the pagans recognized the apostle before whom they had knelt 1 year ago. "Friends," said St. Boniface, holding up the cross, "again we come to bring the message of peace from the All-Father. Oh, Thor is dead."
See, I told you it was peaceful. It's super peaceful. He's having a good, restful, peaceful non-existence now.
"With our axes, we will prove to you that the god of thunder is powerless before the god of love."
Oh, spoilers, excuse me. I haven't even seen Endgame yet, and you're going to tell me what happens in God of Love and God of Thunder.
Uh-huh. You haven't seen Endgame yet.
Well, I've just been so busy, Rob. And there's been so many movies to see.
Yeah, so many.
So many.
So many.
Yeah.
St. Boniface and a helper, with their wood axes in their hands, stepped up to the great tree. With powerful blows, they cut deep gashes into its sides, while everyone else just stood around, apparently, and did nothing, while some people attacked their sacred tree.
Tree's going down. Yep.
Yep, that'll happen. Suddenly, a mighty whirling wind passed over the forest. Thor's oak shuddered, swayed, and fell. It crashed to the ground and split into 4 huge pieces. "The god of love is mightier than the god of thunder," declared St. Boniface with bowed head. "Christ hath conquered Thor."
There you go, Rob. Solves the age-old question. Whether Christ is a name or a title. Also, I've been wanting to share my Beta Ray Bill and John the Baptist crossover graphic novel for a while. This seems like a great opportunity for you to read it, Rob. Give me your feedback.
So do they switch powers?
Kind
Because
of.
that could work.
And I just want to prepare you. When I say graphic novel, I mean fan fiction.
Okay.
And when I say fan fiction, I mean slash fiction.
Oh.
And when I say great opportunity, I think I mean I'm ready to corner you now.
Let's not ever repeat of last Christmas, Alan, all right?
Oh,
Let's just keep it professional.
of course not. I don't want a new heart from a ghost.
In deepest silence, the tribe stood gazing at the ruined oak. By the side of one of the huge pieces stood a beautiful little fir tree, unharmed by the storm. Saint Boniface raised his voice and cried, "My friends of the forest, show your faith in the true God by building a chapel out of this fallen timber."
Yes, I totally planned that part. I'm not just trying to think of something to do with the leftover mess. It's totally symbolic, and I want you to think of that when you're stacking them. I
have given you an assignment. Worship me!
Yes, I don't know. I was really trying to convince you over to my religious side, so why don't you get cracking on some manual labor?
Yeah. In a few moments, he added, "And behold, this little fir tree, with its green leaves and beautiful spire pointing to the stars. It is an emblem of joy and peace and life everlasting. Go no more into the dark forest to make sacrifices of blood. Take this little tree into your homes, and on Christ's blessed birthday, gather round it with joyous songs and loving gifts. Call it the Tree of the Christ Child."
Okay, so, we, put little blood presents underneath it then? I'm sorry, I don't understand where we put the blood.
If we're cutting the tree down, how often do we need to replenish the blood that the tree is going to be in?
Doesn't matter how freshly cut the bottom of the tree is in order for it to soak up more blood? Because I've heard that it soaks up more blood.
Guys, I didn't want to be the one to bring this up, but are we bringing blood type into this conversation?
Oh,
I know, but look, if we really want to keep these things healthy, we got to know if it makes a difference.
Let's just say human or animal, okay, and leave it at that.
They took up the little fir tree and carried it to the village. Once more, as they circled around the tree of the Christ child, Saint Boniface, in simple words, told them the wonderful story of peace on earth, goodwill toward men. The end. That was a great story of Thor versus Jesus, which
I know him. He's a good guy.
Which one, Thor or Jesus?
Both. We were in Ocean's 19 together. It was an ensemble deal. Lot of fun. Great guys.
Good, nice. Okay, so Santa, did you learn anything from that story?
No, we don't do that during
I wasn't
Christmas
sure.
stories.
So thank you, Santa.
We just go on to the next one.
Let's go on. Let's go on to the next one, which is
let's do that.
A Christmas Fairy by John Strange Winter, from the Children's Book of Christmas Stories by various people.
Every year.
Every year that keeps going.
Year.
Gets longer somehow.
Yeah, somehow magic elves don't come in and fix our soundboard that we use once a year.
It's the only thing we've asked for. It was getting very near to Christmas time, and all the boys at Miss Ware's school were talking about going home for the holidays. "I shall go to the Christmas festival," said Bertie Fellows, "and my mother will have a party, and my aunt will give another.
And then my other, cooler aunt will have a rocking after party, spiked eggnog, and she doesn't care where you put the tinsel."
Whoa.
She's very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
"Oh, I shall have a splendid time at home. My Uncle Bob is going to give me a pair of skates," remarked Harry Wadham.
Whoa, I didn't.
I'm sorry, Wadham?
No, yeah, I think you pronounced it right. It's just that in print it doesn't sound.
What I loved about Harry Wadham was that he performed back in the day when they had real stories in the movies. It wasn't just about the physical things.
So, yeah, his Uncle Bob's going to give him a pair of skates, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I'm going to triple sow cow my way to Krakow with little Bow Wow, and I'm going to do it right after I open my presents. Can't do it before I get the present.
Nope, you gotta do it after because you
Gotta
have
unbox
skates.
those skates first. Yep.
My father is going to give me a bicycle, put in George Alderson.
And I'm gonna ride the bloody hell out of it in 4 to 5.5 months. Man, I could barely stand to wait until Christmas morning so I can start waiting.
Maybe this takes place in southern England.
Oh, yeah, sunny South Kent.
Will you bring it back to school with you? Asked Harry. Oh, yes, if Miss Ware doesn't say no. Well, Tom, cried Bertie, where are you going to spend your holidays? I'm going to stay here, answered Tom in a very forlorn voice.
Yeah, just like last year. I thought it would be a lot of fun, but the robbers never showed up, so I had to keep shooting myself in the dick with a BB gun, and it just ain't the same.
I'd say, take this, you wet bandit, and it would just hurt.
Yep.
Here at school? Oh dear, why can't you go home? I can't go home to India, answered Tom.
Very nice, yes.
Nobody said you could.
Well, probably a few people said he could. Travel agents, cartographers, people of that ilk.
Boosters, people who just like to say, sure, kid, you can get to India someday.
Yeah, right. Supporters in general.
General well-wishers. But haven't you any relatives anywhere? Tom shook his head. Only in India, he said sadly. Poor fellow, that's hard luck for you. I'll tell you what it is, boys. If I couldn't go home for the holidays, especially at Christmas, I think I would just sit down and die.
Yeah, if I don't have a single solitary person to spend my Christmas with, like the saddest bastard who ever existed, a person I'll call Tom for illustrative purposes, I think my soul would just spontaneously shit itself from unjolly loneliness, and I'd basically expire from the lack of joyeux Noel in my blood.
It happened to my cousin Marvin, it did. Just like that.
Just like that. Instant.
Just shit itself out. Oh, no, you wouldn't, said Tom. You wouldn't ever get so homesick, but you wouldn't die. You would just get through somehow, and hope something would happen before next year, or that some kind fairy would... There are no fairies nowadays, said Bertie.
Yeah, nowadays. I mean, first it was the dodo, then the passenger pigeon, then the casual acquaintance fairy, and they've all gone totally extinct.
This kid desperately needs an owl.
50 years before, you couldn't go out the door without swatting away some fairies.
No, forget
and
it.
now they're just disappeared.
Remember when those two fairy hives happened in the same year? And they were just bumping into each other flying around.
And then the murder fairy hornets came, and everybody was so freaked out, and then everything just disappeared.
Yeah, those were interesting times. Before the void.
Yeah.
See here, Tom. I'll write and ask me mother to invite you to go home with me for the holidays. Will you really? Yes, I will.
I'll write her, but if we want her to actually read it, we'll probably have to paste it on a Facebook wall with the caption, "You won't believe this Christmas guest's one brilliant mortgage payoff tip."
It's highly targeted, that is.
Hey, Rob, have you played Uninvited Christmas Boy Raid Shadow Legends Candy Saga?
No.
I haven't either, but the ads make it seem like a really good way to ignore my family.
Oh, I'm saving for a Christmas Lad Death Shadow Ultra Fight Extreme Soda Saga.
Great. Does that have an energy mechanic that I have to click in every couple hours?
It sure does.
That's the best way to ignore everybody.
And if she says yes, we shall have a splendid time. We live in London, you know, and have lots of parties and fun. Perhaps she will say no, suggested poor little Tom. My mother isn't the kind that says no, Bertie declared loudly.
Yeah. And everybody winked and mouthed the words, "Told you so," behind his back, and Mr. Tipwick, the biology teacher, said, "Oh, boys, it turns out I have no relatives, and maybe I should chaperone this trip to Bertie's welcoming mom's house. No, boys, where have you gone, boys?"
In a few days' time, a letter arrived from Bertie's mother. The boy opened it eagerly. It said, "My own dear Bertie, I am very sorry to tell you that little Alice is ill with scarlet fever, and so you cannot come home for your holidays. I would have been glad to have you bring your little friend with you if all had been well here."
But Alice being on her deathbed is actually a pretty great excuse not to have to take in some orphan boy with, like, no notice at all.
I mean, I'm not glad it happened, but
Of course not. I would never write such a thing down.
no, but it's at least an excuse.
It's just circumstances, that's all.
Your father and I have decided that the best thing that you can do is stay at Miss Ware's. We shall send your Christmas present to you as well as we can.
It's going to be very expensive to ship you a real live pony, and I can't even imagine how many boxes it will take to fit all the parts.
You do have a large Allen wrench, yes?
Quite a large one, and
waterproof. Make sure it doesn't rust.
Sure, yes. You're going to need some blankets, too. I'm sure you manage.
It will not be like coming home, but I am sure you will try to be happy and make me feel that you are helping me in this sad time. Dear little Alice is very ill indeed. Tell Tom that I am sending you a box for both of you, with 2 of everything.
That's right. 2 of the same video game for the wrong console.
But not included 2 sisters, because you'll be minus 1 sister by the time this letter gets to you. Still love you, Mother.
Nice.
And tell him that it makes me so much happier to know that you will not be alone. Your own mother.
What?
Inside your own
The most
mother.
passive-aggressive sign-off I've ever seen. Bertie, how remarkable that you will be off gallivanting while I'm here tending to your poor dying sister, your own mother. Dear building super, I beg to inform you that the toilet, despite my deepest wishes, remains clogged. Your own tenant. Dear body, we are gravely concerned with your leadership and no longer believe the lies that you have our best interest at heart. Your own genitals.
How dare you, sir? I have no genitals.
Yeah, well, extreme measures. Extreme measures in the face of that level of candid, passive-aggressive behavior.
You just got to lock people out. If I learned one thing from intervention, it's either they go with you or you lock them out.
Wow, that's harsh. Merry Christmas.
When Bertie Fellows received this letter, which ended all his Christmas hopes and joys, he hid his face upon his desk and sobbed aloud. The lonely boy from India, who sat next to him, tried to comfort his friend in every way he could think of. He patted his shoulder and whispered many kind words to him.
Compassionate. Soft-hearted. Magnanimous. Sorry, I'm going over my PSAT words.
At last, Bertie put the letter into Tom's hands. "Read it," he sobbed. So then Tom understood the cause of Bertie's grief. "Don't fret over it," he said at last. "It might be worse. Why, your father and mother might be thousands of miles away like mine are."
Or just down the street, but emotionally unavailable like Jerome's parents.
Hey! You wanker. When Alice is better, you will be able to go home.
Yeah, sure, Bertie. Just a quick 6-week lockdown and that whole scarlet fever pandemic will be long gone.
Yep, no problem.
No, it definitely won't be 10 months later and you're still fucking here in the same place, wiping down the package for a hungry man frozen dinner with baby wipes and tequila.
What tier are we in again?
It can't be that hard to make Clorox wipes. It can't.
No, it can't. I don't understand.
Oh, my God.
And it will help your mother if she thinks you are almost as happy as if you could go now. Soon Miss Ware came to tell Bertie how sorry she was for him. After all, said she, smiling down on the two boys, it is an inland wind that blows nobody good.
Like a desert sirocco. Or my ex-girlfriend Gail. This doesn't work if I'm doing it in a woman's voice.
No, it really doesn't.
Really should have been from me, Alan, and not Miss Ware. Anyways, you get the idea.
Cool, blimey. Poor Tom has been expecting to spend
Then again, maybe that's why she was my girlfriend.
Poor Tom has been expecting to spend his holidays alone, and now he will have a friend with him. Try to look on the bright side, Bertie, and to remember how much worse it would have been if there had been no boy to stay with you.
Yeah, no, it'll be just like Harry and Ron at Hogwarts during Christmas. Except you're both muggles, and the sorting hat is more of a mop bucket, and the cloak of invisibility really works because no one will see you at all. We'll all be gone. Hey, Rob, do you want the real Harry Potter experience?
Oh, yeah, sure, Alan.
Okay, then I'll just tweet some reprehensible things and ruin all of it for you.
I can't help feeling disappointed, Miss Ware, said Bertie, his eyes filling with tears. No, you would be a strange boy if you were not. But I want to thank you for I want you to try to think of your poor mother and write her as cheerfully as you can. Yes, answered Bertie, but his heart was too full to say more. The last day of the term came, and one by one, or two by two, the boys went away, until only Bertie and Tom were left in the great house. It had never seemed so large to either of them before.
The magic of puberty, Rob.
It's miserable, groaned poor Bertie as they strolled into the schoolroom. Just think if we were on our way home now. How different. Just think if I had been left here by myself, said Tom. Yes, said Bertie, but you know when one wants to go home, he never thinks of the boys that have no home to go to.
That's you. Just in case you thought we were in this together, right? That's you, not me. I'm better than you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays and all that.
I'll be right off then to my parents. Once the scarlet fever's gone, in 6 to maybe 8
It's just
weeks.
a temporary thing, yeah?
6.
All right? Don't
maybe
get
8.
ideas.
That's right.
Wait, friends. I've got a permanent place. You ain't.
Oh, I'm sorry. You've got one in India.
Old Lang Syne and all that. No kisses when the bowl drops. All right?
The evening passed, and the two boys went to bed. They told stories to each other for a long time before they could go to sleep.
So it's supposed to make him realize how much worse the world would be if he didn't exist, right? But he didn't actually kill himself. It was all sort of just a dream. And then he rushes around in the snow, and at the end, all his friends and family are cheering him. The French girl, Booger, the Japanese Howard Cosell guy, and then his brother takes off in a homemade rocket. Now you do your favorite John Cusack movie.
What's the one with the dancing hamburger?
It's a Wonderful Life, yeah.
Oh, okay. I like that one. John Cusack's great.
Everybody wants
Oh, yeah, my favorite Christmas carol.
Yep.
That night, they dreamed of their homes and felt very lonely. Yet each tried to be brave, and so another day began.
Oh, great. Time for more green pills and extreme glossing over of chess mechanics.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, you should watch it. It's pretty good.
Oh, okay. What's in the green pills?
Oh, man. What isn't in the green pills? Chess. Distilled chess.
Do they go to Bangkok?
Oriental City? No. No, they don't make it there.
Not even one night?
No, they don't make it one night. Hey, it's like the chess apocalypse on YouTube right now, Rob. You can't, it's like you look at one thing and then it's like 1,000 recommendations. So it is like Bobby Fischer and the Russians, the musical chess, Deep Blue, and now it is the Queen's Gambit and chess streaming YouTubers. It's like a cicada cycle, Rob.
Wait, where did Little Man Tate fall into this?
I didn't see that one, Rob.
Okay.
Wait, Fat Man and
Fat Man and Little Boy. That's another John Cusack movie. Full circle.
Accidental full circle. Mathematical.
This was the day before Christmas. Quite early in the morning came the great box of which Bertie's mother had spoken in her letter.
Hooves, box 1 of 5. Wait, what?
Well, sometimes they give you extra pieces. That's the thing about these guys. It's like Lego. You always get extras so that they can make sure you never get one missing. Then, just as dinner had come to an end, there was a peal of the bell, and a voice was heard asking for Tom Edgerton. Tom sprang to his feet and flew to greet a tall, handsome lady, crying, "Aunt Laura!" Or I guess, "Aunt Laura! Aunt Laura!" And
Now we're going to fix our accents.
Hello, Aunt Laura! Laura. And Laura explained...
It's like the cast of fucking Count Duckula in here.
And Laura explained that she and her husband had arrived in London only the day before. "I was so afraid, Tom," she said, "that we should not get here until Christmas Day was over, and that you would be disappointed."
So I made sure that you were disappointed in advance. No. Nothing to look forward to at all.
That's the British way.
Chin up.
So I would not let your mother write you that we were on our way home.
Oh, boy.
You must get your things packed up at once and go back with me to London. Then Uncle and I will give you a splendid time.
Oh, splendid. First, we'll go to see the zoo lights. Then your uncle will put up the Christmas lights while I smoke my Marlboro lights. And after a 6-pack of Miller Lights, Christmas is going to be all right.
All right.
Yeah.
For a minute or two, Tom's face shone with delight. Then he caught sight of Bertie and turned to his aunt. "Dear Aunt Laura," he said, "I'm very sorry, but I can't go." "Can't go? And why not?"
It's not to go with Bertie's cooler aunt, is it? I'm cool. I drive a crossover.
I can floss. See?
Aunt
Yep.
Laura.
Yep, look at this. Look at this.
Oh.
And dap. Look, dapping. Dap.
Come on, that's not even.
Dap, floss,
That
floss.
was like
Dap.
1994.
Floss. Dap. "Because I can't go and leave Bertie here all alone," he said stoutly. "When I was going to be alone, he wrote and asked his mother to let me go home with him. She could have not had either of us because Bernie's sister has scarlet fever and probably horribly died mere minutes ago."
Wait, no, hold on. We don't know that for sure.
True. That's true.
We don't know that for sure during this holiday season.
Yes,
Rob.
that's right. Holidays, or nothing
Yeah.
could ever go bad.
Okay.
"He has to stay here, and he has never been away from home at Christmas time before, and I can't go away and leave him by himself, Aunt Laura." For a minute, Aunt Laura looked at the boy as if she could not believe him. Then she caught him in her arms and kissed him. "You dear little boy, you shall not leave him. You shall bring him along. I'm sure there's some paperwork we have to fill out or something, but I don't know. No one's around. Let's just grab the kid and take him along with us."
Great. Yeah. No, I had plenty of jokes in there, but I didn't want to interrupt the flow of that great segment, Rob.
"You shall bring him along, and we shall all enjoy ourselves together. Bertie, my boy, you're not very old yet, but I'm going to teach you a lesson as well as I can."
Open your math books to page 122 and get ready to hear everything I kind of remember about geometry.
"It is that kindness is never wasted in this world."
And parental permission slips are easily forged when your school is as negligent as this one.
And so Bertie and Tom found that there was such a thing as a fairy after all.
My Aunt Fairy there is.
The end.
Oh, the holiday music. Cha-cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha-cha. There was a little Spanish flea.
Wow, that was a pleasant journey through accents that wildly varied in quality, minute to minute, word by word, I'd say.
It's a good thing he never went to India at the end, because we.
All right, well, Alan and Santa, if you're still around, I haven't seen him. He went to the bathroom a while ago and didn't come back.
Oh no! Hold on, I tagged in. Let me tell you, Rob, the moral of this last tale of Christmas cheer: Christmas fairies come in many forms. Ants, cool ants, sugar plum, Staten Island, Brian. I rest my case.
Well, Santa, as usual, you have really brought it, and you've really shown us a part of yourself.
Santa had to go. No, he's
thank God, Alan, we got it. Did you let him know we were recording tonight?
Yeah, no, he's doing kind of a whirlwind tour. He's going. The sleigh just takes off without him if he doesn't get going. So they're on a tight schedule.
He's got Doughboys next.
What's a doughboy?
Oh, sorry, another podcast.
Oh, okay. I don't know what those are, Rob.
Well, I think you're going to have to find out next time, Alan. I'd like to wish you and yours and all of our listeners a very, if you celebrate a Merry Christmas, if you don't, have a good holiday. Good wishes and happy holidays, everybody. That wraps it up for this episode. I hope everybody will tune in next time for another exciting Interrupted.
Dear 2020, how regretful that I must part from you and finally return the giant thorn dildo you have repeatedly insisted on inserting. Happy holidays and fuck right off your own human race.
Hey!